Hi, my voice. Okay, I'm on YouTube. I'm listening to one of the most shameful episodes of journalistic history, and that is
An extra. Both achieved season best audience numbers, and Celebrity Justice also enjoyed an 8% rise. The newspapers reacted just as hysterically as TV stations. Sicko shrieked the New York Daily News. Jacko, now get out of this one. Go to the
Wacko
New York
Jacko
Post. The
Sicko.
Sun,
That was his
Britain's
name
largest
that they were
newspaper,
giving
ran
him.
an article titled, "Is Bad, Is Dangerous, Is History." The piece branded Jackson an ex-black,
And
ex-superstar,
he
a
would
freak,
have,
and a twisted individual, and called for his children to be taken into care. If he weren't a pop idol with piles of cash to hide behind, it said, he would have been picked up years ago.
wow.
Encouraged by the audience boost the Jackson scandal had produced, media outlets made it their mission to milk the case for all they could.
Social
Entertainment
services,
Weekly's Tom Sinclair wrote,
when I was little,
neighbours,
gave me
from the
extreme
cattiest tabloid
PTSD.
reporter to the nattiest network news
Then all of a
anchor, are in
sudden,
overdrive,
I have
scrambling to
kids of
fill
my
column
own.
inches and airtime
Social
with Jacko
workers were
scoops
called
and talking
false,
heads.
made a false. My
Pressure on
sister
Newsweek was
Mandy,
enormous. Attorney
Aunt
Harlan Braun
Cookie,
told
my
Sinclair,
Aunt
so
Cookie,
lawyers you've never heard of wind up on television talking about cases
made
they
a
have
false
no connection
report.
to.
Oh, and
While the media was busy
Christina
badgering a host of quacks,
made a
distant
false. My cousin
quackmasters for
Christina
their views on
made
the
a false
scandal,
claim
the
that I
team of
had rat
prosecutors behind the
droppings,
latest Jackson case
and
were engaged in
the house was dirty and whatnot,
but the media
and my
didn't seem
kids
to
were running
care.
around with
During the Neverland
dirty
raid,
diapers.
District Attorney Tom Sneddon, the prosecutor who
Lauren
unsuccessfully
Tapia,
pursued Jackson in 1993, and his officers breached the
you
terms
have
of their
no
own
idea,
search
and you
warrant by
promised
seizing
me,
hordes of
you
irrelevant
promised
business
me you
papers.
weren't gonna do this
They
shit.
locked everybody out of the house. They had the whole house to themselves to do whatever they wanted. They went into areas they weren't supposed to go into. Like my
I was
office,
cleaning up the
they have
house,
search
getting
warrants
ready
those
for
places,
moving, like
and
to
they
sell
simply
it.
took advantage.
They also illegally raided the office of a PI
I was
working for
telling my
Jackson's
dad,
defense
like,
team and lifted
we're gonna
defense
go move up
documents
to the
from the home of the singer's
reservation.
personal
We're
assistant.
gonna get things
Sneddon
done.
also appeared to
Then
be
you guys
tampering
can
with
go
fundamental
off
elements of
and,
his
you know,
case
go to
whenever
Catalina
evidence
like
came
he
to light
wanted
which
to, and go and
undermined the Abuso
travel.
family's claims.
Like,
For
my
instance,
dad
when
wanted
the
to
DA
live the
found out
life.
about two tape
Like I
interviews
felt like
in
my
which the
dad
entire Abuso family
needed to
sang
start
Jackson's
making things
praises
right
and denied any abuse, he introduced the conspiracy charge and claimed that they'd been forced to lie against their will.
by making amends with his family, by being more family.
And Michael said, of course.
Let me read my thing because I won't remember what I wrote.
In a similar instance, Jackson's lawyer Mark Garagos appeared on NBC in January 2004 and announced that the singer had a concrete, ironclad alibi for the dates on the charge sheet. By the time Jackson was rearraigned in April for the conspiracy charge, the molestation
at first, as a medium psychic, I took Michael Jackson's death, aka murder, was staged. My dad also died from a heart attack due to complications of diabetes and dialysis. Michael Jackson died as soon as my mother was in the hospital for pneumonia, and my dad ended up being admitted to the same hospital. I had both parents at the hospital, and my own world with the same bullies continue to follow me. It's some witchcraft stuff that's happening. Now, when he died, I'm like, clearly it was murder. Clearly it was murder. He was overworked. But I'm like, is it? He was dropping hints, like Taylor Swift. You know how Taylor Swift works? For the new kids that don't understand, because they took off his music. They took his music off radio. He was silent for a long fucking time. He went silent. And they were already starting to do that. And I thought that's why Rick Dees, like, when I was little boys, my dad used to turn on the radio. We listened to the radio all the time because that's what he also grew up with too, with the radio, listening to radio. And TV was a luxury back then. Not everyone had TV, and if they did, it would be different. It would be totally different because my dad grew up. He didn't grow up with color yet. It was still black and white. Then it went to color. And he used to tell me that. Because I do kind of like the black and white
The media,
thing. I Love Lucy. Anyways, getting off topic.
At the same time, allegations sold to tabloid TV shows.
That's how the spirits work too as well. The spirits will just jump in and then you just follow along with the conversation. But to me, I have to stay on track. So they're like, yeah, get back. So then I'll just blank off and go, what was I gonna say again? And then when that happens, just go, and then it'll pop back up. Like whatever's really important, it will come back up. So do that. But I have extreme PTSD where it's like I'm so disconnected to people, it doesn't even matter. So
keep an open mind and let me have my day in court. I will be acquitted and vindicated when the truth is told.
The trial began in early 2005 with jury selection. Asked by NBC
so when I had my call-in, I'm like, oh my god, he just reminded me of Michael Jackson. And still today, my call-in reminds me of Michael Jackson. Now, I never told anybody I did the medium psychic thing, my boys. I can do it I can do it, but I prefer, it's not my business, so it's like, well, whatever. But
as the trial kicked into gear, it became quickly apparent
since I'm so disconnected, I have to talk to people, and when people talk to me, some people can do it right away. But since I was dealing with a lot of stuff, for me to talk to people, and because even if I tell them like their loved ones is here, they won't get it because it's not their time yet. I just have to leave a mark. So whatever I tell them, I just have to leave a mark and whatever. So even if I meet you and they want to see me and I can't meet them, I just, either way, the next time I see them, then they might be ready for what I have to hear because they'd be so interested in seeing me again or whatever it is. And I wear the bells to protect myself because of the negative energy. A lot of people like my bells. A lot of people. There's only a few that don't, and when the few that don't, they're the narcissists. That's the school system because they even said it in court that I wear bells, and it's not a normal thing. Like, it's not. That's why I like the Zoom too. I don't like Zoom. I don't like the technology shit. But these court system, whoever has a Zoom thing, whatever recorded is recorded. It's going to be. It's there to keep. Like the body cameras. Just because the department gets rid of it doesn't mean that someone else can't get a hold of it. Somebody else has it to keep in a library.
Meaning that the whole molestation story was predicated on a lie. Under cross-examination, the boy severely undermined the prosecution's conspiracy charge by claiming he'd never felt afraid at Neverland and he'd never wanted to
when Michael Jackson, my boys, watching the Michael Jackson trial, I only watched some of it, part of it, not all of it. But I was looking at his yeah.
On the first day of the boy's direct examination, Jackson
That's funny because they're telling me the same thing. Pajama.
When Judge Rodney Melville ordered a breach warrant for Jackson's arrest unless he arrived within an hour, the singer sped to the courthouse in the pajama trousers he'd been wearing when he was rushed to hospital. The photographs of Jackson in his pajamas went all over the world, often with no mention of Jackson's injury or the reason he was wearing
them. They were making him look like
Jackson of faking the entire event in order to gain sympathy.
He was crazy.
Sympathetic is the last word you'd use to describe the media's reaction. The incident didn't stop the media from sending Gavin lurid allegations around the world the following day. Some outlets even ran the boy's testimony as fact rather than conjecture.
Okay.
He said if boys don't do it, they might turn into rapists. Cancer boy Gavin tells court of Jacko's sex, wrote the Mirror. But
Michael Jackson planted some of his stories out.
Almost entirely unreported. Instead of stories about Gavin Arvizo's lies and the two brothers'
no, if that would have came, I'm pretty sure I don't remember, but something had came out
Pajama Day had been days previously.
in court with that.
To whether or not Jackson wore a wig, and the Sun even ran
an
article attacking Jackson for the accessories into his waistcoats every day. It seemed like the press would write anything to avoid discussing the boy's cross-examination.
Anyways,
which severely undermined
the way he was acting was not somebody that is guilty. That's a man that was celebrating his innocence. That's a man of, I got nothing to hide. Like, the way he was acting to me was he got nothing to hide. This is serious. And it's all a joke. It's all fucking.
He added that whenever anybody said anything salacious or dramatic about Jackson, the media went running outside to report on it and missed the subsequent cross-examination.
And when he was telling the story about how the LAPD went to his house and started taking pictures and stuff like that, and how he was humiliated, you see it in his eyes. You see it, that it's like, it's disgusting, because as soon as that happened, I got a lot of spirits going, they just wanted to take the pictures. They just wanted to take the pictures. They wanted pictures for their own self. Disgusting thing.
To report this apparent bombshell and missed one of the most significant pieces of testimony in the entire trial.
She connects me to Kobe Bryant, and Kobe Bryant connects me to Irvine and Orange County. Yeah, Orange County, because of Irvine, so Orange County.
Sleeping in their own quarters all along, not Michael Jackson's bedroom.
In the beach.
She also testified that Star Avizo had once pulled a knife on her in the kitchen, explaining that she did not feel
I still
it
don't
intended
believe
as a
that.
joke, and that she thought he'd been trying
I
to assert
still
some
believe
sort of
something's going on.
In a devastating blow to the prosecution's increasingly hilarious conspiracy charge, Fournier laughed at the idea that anybody could be held prisoner at Neverland Ranch, telling the jurors that there was no high fence around the property and the family could have walked out at any time with ease. When Gavin and Star's mother, Janet Arvizo, took the stand, Tom Sneddon was seen with his head in his hands. She claimed that a videotape of herself and her children praising Jackson had been scripted word for word by a German man who barely spoke English.
I'm walking, like, I'm loud, I'm really loud.
Looking embarrassed and asking if she was being recorded.
Oh, we're on camera?
Yeah.
Oh.
We are?
Oh, God.
She said that had been scripted too. She claimed she'd been held hostage at Neverland, even though logbooks and receipts showed she'd left the ranch and returned on 3 occasions during the period of, quote, captivity. It became apparent she was currently under investigation for welfare fraud.
Even the prosecutor said she may have committed perjury in certain of her applications.
And had also been falsely obtaining money on the back of her son's illness.
Hey Alexa, what time is it?
Treatments when he was already covered by insurance. Even the most ardent of prosecution
Hey Alexa,
supporters had to
what time is it?
Janet Arvizo was a disastrous witness for the state. Except Diane Diamond.
Hey Alexa, what day is it today?
Seemed to use Janet Arvizo's welfare fraud, which she was convicted of in the wake of Jackson's trial, as roundabout.
Hey Alexa, what day is it today?
Singing off a New York Post article with the dog-smacking line, "Pedophiles don't target kids with Aussie and Harriet parents." Watching their case crumble before their eyes, the prosecution applied to the judge for permission to admit evidence of prior bad acts. Permission was granted. Prosecutors told the jury they would hear evidence of 5 former victims. But those 5 former cases turned out to be even more laughable than the Arvizo's claims.
And the judge did something I've never seen happen in a case like this. With respect to 3 of those alleged 5 victims, they put on 3 guards who had worked at Neverland to say they saw these 3 people molested. And the 3 people they say they saw molested, they were my first 3 witnesses. They came in and said they were never touched.
Roger Friedman complained in an interview with Matt Drudge. When Thursday started,
meanwhile, Scientology has always been involved with Michael Jackson.
Who had worked at the ranch as a security guard. He told the most outrageous story. It was so graphic, and of course everybody went running outside to report on it. But there were 10 minutes right before the first break when Tom Mesereau got up.
When my dad died, my voice.
The 4th so-called victim, Jason Francia, took the stand and claimed that when he was a child, Jackson had tickled him 3 times outside his clothes, and he needed years of therapy to get
right before my dad died. I have to say it. Right before my dad died, I was already getting signals that something's happening, like, but I didn't know what. I just knew, like, someone's trying to get a hold of me, and I didn't know what.
He's the one who got a settlement in the early 90s. Now, my understanding is the prosecutors tried to get him to show up, and he wouldn't. If he had, I had witnesses who were going to come in and say he told them it never happened and that he would never talk to his parents again for what they made him say. And it turned out he had gone into court and gotten legal emancipation from his parents.
June Chandler, Geordie's mother, testified that she hadn't spoken to her son in 11 years. Questioned about the
My boys, if you look
case,
at what
she seemed to
Princess
suffer from a
Diana
severe
did,
case of selective memory. At
and
one
then you
point, she claimed she
see
couldn't
her
remember being
children,
sued by Michael Jackson,
and you
and
see,
at another, said she'd never even heard of her own attorney.
start
She
seeing
also
that because
never
there's something
witnessed any
there.
molestation.
Anyways, Prince Harry
So when
is
that
still
happened, I
upset
think we were able to
that
tickle us and say,
that
ladies
his
and gentlemen,
mother
jury, you can't believe
was murdered,
these
and the way that
prosecutors,
she
you
got
can't believe
treated.
their case.
She should have
You know,
been still here, but it's
they'll say
domestic
anything
violence.
to try and win.
And
When the prosecution rested,
this
the
is going to
media
go
seemed
back
to lose
to
interest in the
O.J.
trial.
Simpson
The defense case
and
was
what he
given
did with his
comparatively
wife,
little newspaper space and airtime.
and how she was
The
trying to get
Hollywood
help
Reporter,
and seek
which
help,
had
and
been
she
diligently
fucking
reporting on
knew.
the Jackson trial, missed out 2 whole weeks of the defense
Like,
case.
she's fucking brave.
The attitude seemed to be that unless the testimony
Nicole
was
Brown
graphic
Simpson,
and salacious, unless it made a good soundbite,
what she
it
had
wasn't
to
worth
endure
reporting.
for me listening to
The
the
defense called numerous
911 call
fantastic witnesses,
and
boys and girls who had stayed with
and
Jackson
dealing
time
with
and again,
your
and had
dad,
witnessed any
dealing with an
inappropriate
alcoholic,
behavior,
abusive
employees who had
alcoholic
witnessed the
that
Arvizo's
just
voice
drank
helping
and
themselves to
drank and
alcohol
said
in
shit
Jackson's
to my
absence,
face.
and celebrities who had also been
The
targeted for
more you
handouts by the
fucking do
accuser.
that shit, the
The little of
more
this
you're
testimony
just
was
giving
relayed
me
to the
a
public.
thicker skin
When District
to
Attorney
go
John
off on you
Snedden
later
referred to
on so
black
I can
comic
step on
Chris
your fucking
Tucker
neck.
as Boyd during
Because
his
you're just trying
cross-examination, the
to
media
scare me
didn't
for
bat an
what?
eye.
When my dad already
When
did that
both
shit?
sides rested,
No
the
thank you,
jurors were
but
told that
keep
if they
doing it to
found
me, keep doing it to me,
reasonable doubt, they
motherfucker,
had to
because
acquit.
I'm going to show you. I'm
Anybody
going
who
to
had been
fucking
paying
show you
attention
where
to
you
the
belong.
proceedings could see that the
And it's
doubt
with your
was so far
ancestors.
beyond reasonable it wasn't even funny.
So,
Almost every single prosecution witness either perjured themselves
that's what
or
I
wound
did.
up helping the defense. There wasn't a shed of evidence connecting Jackson
Killing
to
with
any
kindness,
crime,
and that's
there wasn't a
exactly
single
what I
credible
did.
witness connecting him to a
But
crime either.
I wanted
But that
family
didn't stop
time. I
journalists
wanted
and
to at
pundits from
least
predicting guilty
be
verdicts.
free. You could have
CNN's
just
Nancy
left me
Grace leading the
alone
way.
And
and
I
said,
will
hey,
eat crow
If they don't get this guy
you know,
on
like, I'll
something.
help you get a
Defense
job.
attorney
Let me
Robert
watch the kids for a
Shapiro,
couple
who had
hours while
once
you can go get a
represented the
job,
Chandler family,
and then we'll
stated
work
with
on that.
certainty on CNN
I
he was going to be
wouldn't mind
convicted.
working
The
overnight,
hysteria of the fans
whatever
outside the
it
courthouse
is.
was mirrored
But
by
I
that
didn't
of
need
the
a
reporters
babysitter.
who secured seats inside.
I don't need
It
a
was so
babysitter.
excitable that Judge Rodney Melville ordered them to restrain themselves.
The media
Babysitters,
worldwide were out to
they're
get Michael
no.
Jackson. The kind of copy that his being
After all,
convicted,
babysitter
remanded to
molested
jail,
me
the
and
build
got
up
away
to a
with it.
sentencing, which would
And
have
I'm
been the
not going to
biggest
let that
sentencing
happen
in
to my
world
kids.
history,
And then look
was
at what
something they
happened.
wanted. You know, this was
Family
big,
dark
big
secrets, whatever I'm
business.
trying to do, I'm trying to
They were
speak
doing
out. And the
everything they
people in
could to
Westminster,
spin a conviction.
they all fuck
When the
each
jury
other.
delivered 14 not
They
guilty
all fucking know
verdicts,
it.
the media was humiliated, Mesereau
I
said in a
can't
subsequent
wait.
interview.
We, the jury in the above entitled case,
Like,
find the defendant not
you're
guilty
telling me
of
all
murder
Orange
of a
County,
minor child.
there's
Legal
no
analyst Tim
kids
Rutten later
that are
commented,
there's
"So
no
what
kids
happened when
saying,
Jackson
oh,
was
that teacher
acquitted on
did
all
this to me,
counts?
or
Red
that teacher,
faces?
like, you're telling me
Second
that there's no
thoughts? A
pedophiles
little
in
soul
Orange
searching,
County, no
perhaps?
pedophiles that
Maybe
are
one
teaching
expression
in
of regret
school?
for the
You're
rush to
telling me
judgment?
there's nothing?
In a post-verdict news conference, Sneddon continued to refer to
That's
Gavin
really funny to
Arvizo as a
me.
victim and said he suspected the celebrity
You're telling
factor
me
had
that all
impeded
these
the jury's
schools
judgment,
have
aligned many
high
media
achievements
pundits
and
with the
all these awards
appropriated
and all
as
these
they set
teachers
about
are fighting for
undermining
the
the jurors
kids'
and their
mental
verdicts.
well-being.
Within minutes of the announcement,
That's,
Nancy
yeah,
Grace
these
appeared
teachers
on
are
court
narcissists
TV to allege
gaslighting
that the
us,
jurors had been
saying
seduced
that
by
they're here for the
Jackson's fame,
students,
and bizarrely
aka
claimed
our
that the
kids, but it's a
prosecution's only
business.
weak link had been
A
Janet
perfect
Arvizo.
business for
She
a
said,
pedophile.
"But you know what?
Perfect.
I'm also not
Churches do the same
surprised. I
thing.
thought that celebrity is such a big factor. When you think you know somebody, when you've watched their concerts, listened to their records, read their lyrics, believed they were coming from somebody's heart, Jackson is very charismatic. Although he never took the stand, that had an effect on this jury." Over on Fox News, Wendy Murphy labelled Jackson the Teflon molester and said the jurors needed IQ tests. She later added, "They basically put targets on the back of all, especially highly vulnerable kids that will now come into Michael Jackson's life." Legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin told CNN that he thought the prior bad acts testimony had been effective evidence, even though various boys at the heart of the testimony had taken the stand as defense witnesses
When my
and
uncle
denied ever being molested. Only
Jerome
Robert Shapiro
got
was
in a
dignified in
coma.
the face of the verdicts,
He was
telling
in a
viewers
coma
that they should
for
accept the
I don't
jurors'
know how
decision
long,
because
but he was
the
in a
jurors were
coma.
from a very conservative part
And
of California,
when
and
I
if
went to
they had
visit
no
him with
doubt,
me and my
none of
sister,
us
I
should have
noticed guess there was kids there. There was young kids there.
America, Diane Sawyer upheld the notion that the verdict had
And
been
I'm
influenced by
like,
Jackson's celebrity status. Are you sure?
Why is there
She
kids?
pleaded. sure this
And they're like,
gigantically
oh,
renowned
because
guy walking into the
the
room
hobby
had no influence at
things,
all? The Washington Post
you know,
commented,
like
an acquittal doesn't clear his name. It only muddies
the
the water.
rockets,
Both the New York
the
Post
launch of
and
the
New York
rocket
Daily News
stuff,
ran with the snide
and
headline, "Boy, oh boy." In her final New York Post
forgot
article
that
about
game
the trial,
thingy, but
Diane
gaming.
Diamond bemoaned the not guilty verdict, saying that it left Michael
So
Jackson
right now, what I'm
untouchable.
doing is I'm going back
She
in my
wrote,
memory, and
"He
I'm
walked out of
in the
court a
hospital
free
right
man,
now,
not guilty
listening to
on
this,
all
but I'm
counts.
also
But
in
Michael
my head.
Jackson is
I'm
so
walking
much
through
more than
my
free.
memory
He now has
when I was in the
carte blanche
hospital.
to live out his
Now,
life any way
nothing
he wants, with whomever he wants, because who would ever try and prosecute
that
Michael
I see
Jackson
right
now?
now
In Britain's
is just
Sunday's
an
paper,
observation. It could
celebrity
be wrong. It could
rent-a-dog
be
and
wrong, but
talking
I'm
head
just trying to get
extraordinaire
a
Jane Moore
like,
penned an
not
article
zip. I
titled,
guess trying
"If
to
the
get
jury
a
agreed Janet Arvizo is a bad mum, and
idea.
she
I have
is,
to
how did
bring
they
all
let
those
Jackson
pieces
off?"
back together.
It began,
But I do
"Michael Jackson
remember
is
him
innocent.
in the hospital
Justice has
room,
been done." Or so the Looney Tunes
and
gathered
there's
outside the
kids there.
courthouse would have us believe.
And I had
She went on to question Arvizo's mental
an
capacity and dismiss the American legal system
I'm
as
just
half-baked.
observing.
"Nothing and no one truly emerges as a winner from this sorry
I
mess,"
believe it was a
she
diabetic
finished.
coma that he
Least of all
had.
what they laughably call American justice. After the initial outrage, the Michael Jackson story slipped out of the headlines. There was little analysis on the not guilty
Then around the
verdicts and
same
how they were
time, I
reached.
do
But money was in
believe
a conviction.
The story was over. There were no apologies and no retractions. There was no scrutiny, no inquiries or
no,
investigations.
that's not.
Nobody was held to account for what was done to Michael Jackson.
It kind of
The
like.
media was content
Anyways,
to
I
let
had
people
something
go on
similar to
believing
happen
their heavily skewed and borderline
to Frank.
fictitious
Frank
account
had
of the
something
trial.
like that happen. I
When
think.
Michael Jackson died, the media went into overdrive again. What drugs had killed him? How long had he been using them? Who had prescribed them? What else was in his system? How much did he weigh? But there was one question nobody seemed to ask. Why? Why was Michael Jackson so stressed and so paranoid that he couldn't even get a decent night's sleep unless somebody stuck a tube full of anesthetic in his arm? I think the answer can be found in the results of various polls conducted in the wake of Michael Jackson's trial. A poll conducted by Gallup.
I don't understand why they're forcing these celebrities to go to sleep. Because when you're on a spiritual awakening or when you're on a spiritual high, you can't go to sleep. Why do you need to go to sleep when you're having so much fun? You really don't. It depends on what you're doing. Like, I have documented. I have like where I'm tired, but I don't want to go to sleep. And right now I'm like, I don't want to. But when I was little, I was just like, how long can I keep this up for? It was really fun. You do go through different portals and you do that as well.
Disagreed with the jury's decision. The media did a number on its audience, and it did a number on
But
Jackson.
being outside,
After
you
battling
just.
its way through an exhausting and horrifying trial, riddled with heinous accusations and character assassinations, Michael Jackson should have felt vindicated when the jury delivered 14 unanimous not guilty verdicts. But the media's irresponsible coverage of the trial made it impossible for Jackson to ever feel
I just
truly
realized he had
vindicated.
long hair
The
right
legal
here.
system
Like, yeah,
may
he
have
always had
declared him
like
innocent,
his long
but the
hair right
public,
here. But
on the whole, still thought otherwise.
P. Diddy had long hair. He was doing something on a video and he had long hair.
Shaky testimony was presented as fact. The defense's case was all but ignored. When asked about those who doubted the verdicts, the
Celebrities
jury replied,
will
"They
also
didn't see what
attach
we saw."
themselves
They're
to
right.
other
We
people
didn't, but we should have
to
done.
make
And
a
those who
point,
refused
to
to tell us
scare
remain
other
in their
people.
jobs unchecked, unpunished, and free to
Be
do
like, I'm
exactly the
coming,
same
I'm
to
coming, I'm
anybody
coming.
they
Like, just
desire.
watch, just watch.
Now
Like what my
that's what
dad
I
does.
call
He'll bring in
injustice.
people and I'll like, oh, that sounds like my dad. Dad, are you here? And then I'll get a, like, all of a sudden somebody would say Dawn, or that whoever I'm talking to will just say, oh, my friend Dawn did this. I'm like, oh yeah, Dad. Okay, Dad. Got you loud and clear. So it's kind of just weird, but I'm getting used to that. I like it because as a medium psychic, you're walking, you can tell people if they're lying or not, or if they're a good actor. But you're gonna have to go through the process. You can't just do it right away. Something you could do right away. Some you have to, if it's really deep, dark, you're gonna have to realize, like, for instance, like, I don't know at this point, but to me, that's me. Okay, I'm gonna do this one. This one was a witchcraft too.
Like Sleeping Beauty. In the world of glitz, glam, and public spectacle, the Kardashians have become synonymous with sharing nearly every aspect of their personal
Kanye West
lives.
and Beyonce.
From opulent weddings to family feuds, their lives are an open book for fans. However, recent revelations from Kourtney Kardashian have sent shockwaves through fans and critics alike, raising questions about the authenticity of her relationship with husband Travis Barker. For months, Kourtney and
the way
Travis
I
have been the
got
epitome
was
of
Kanye
relationship
West
goals
and
on social
Beyonce
media.
are more
Whether it's
spiritual,
their steamy
and then
Instagram
they had to
posts
be
or
with
their public
karmics
displays
or
of
people
affection
who
at
would
high-profile
question their
events,
like
the couple has
spirituality,
garnered
test
attention
them,
for their over-the-top romantic
and
gestures. But according to Kourtney, things may not be as picture-perfect as they seem. In a tearful confession,
when it comes with
Kourtney recently opened up about feeling unloved
Jay-Z
and unfulfilled in her
and
marriage,
Kim Kardashian.
alleging that Travis's public displays of affection
Kim
are nothing more
Kardashian
than a
has
performance
a
for the cameras.
one up on Jay-Z
Kourtney's
because
emotional
Kim
breakdown
Kardashian
has
knows
revealed
about
cracks in the foundation
where
of
he
what
went
many
wrong.
thought was a solid
Like, there's
relationship.
no going back.
During a recent interview with close
And
friends,
as a woman,
reported by insiders,
she's going to
Kourtney
understand
allegedly
how
shared her
what
frustrations,
Beyonce
stating, "I don't
had
feel
to
loved by
endure and went
Travis.
through.
He's so different when the cameras are off." The couple's whirlwind romance had captivated fans, with their
And
PDA-filled
within that
moments
process,
often trending on social media. From making
it
out on red
all
carpets
connects.
to Travis serenading Kourtney in front of cheering crowds, their love story seemed like a fairy tale. But now, fans are left wondering, was it all just a facade? One of the biggest bombshells from Kourtney's confession is her
And with
claim that
Kanye West
Travis's
and
affectionate
Beyonce,
behavior
I
is
see that
reserved
they're on the same
exclusively for the
level.
public eye.
They've been on the same
Behind
level for
closed
a fucking
doors,
while.
she says, he becomes distant and uncommunicative. Sources close to Kourtney have revealed that she feels like an accessory to his rock star image rather than a cherished wife. Travis is great at putting on a show, a close
Now
friend
these are all
reportedly said. But Kourtney feels like she's just another stage prop when it's just the two of them. Kourtney allegedly admitted that the contrast between Travis's public displays of love and his behavior at home has left her questioning the authenticity of their relationship. She's reportedly told friends
witchcraft
that she
shit.
feels emotionally neglected, despite the couple's outward appearance of passion and connection. Kourtney's confession has sparked a wave of speculation among fans. Many have taken to social media to share their thoughts, with some expressing sympathy for Kourtney and others scrutinizing Travis's motives. One fan tweeted, "I always thought Travis was too good to be true. PDA doesn't mean real love. Kourtney deserves better." Another fan questioned whether their relationship was orchestrated.
I don't know what else to say now. Chris. There's going to be a Chris coming up. That goes on domestic violence too. There is somebody that's a lot of people that was supposed to be dead. They are not dead. They are here. Now I'm getting cross because that's not the same as people that are died and they're still here. I'm going to say earthbound. These are the people that are not earthbound. They are still living people. So I don't know who is dead that's supposed to be alive and somebody big versus an earthbound spirit. Or that was alive but now dead. Oh, okay. Give me too much where I'm just gonna. Oh, yeah, I do have to bring the, these tarot readers. You can't make this shit up. You can't. Yeah, you actually can make it up. Because that's what they're doing. They're making a lot of this shit up. in their own head, and then people will run with it.
I've been telling all my friends' parents about this learning tablet, Smile Zimmy. Smile Zimmy is a standalone tablet. I have an announcement to make.
The truth about Celebrity B.
I never said Celebrity B was J-Lo. I never said Celebrity B was J-Lo. I never said Celebrity B was J-Lo. I never said Celebrity B was Jennifer Lopez, no sorry. I never said Celebrity B was J-Lo. Celebrity B was J-Lo.
Oh no, this one. Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
I never said Celebrity.
That's funny.
Thank you guys so much for joining me for your reading. This is a really exciting one. I just thought I would turn on the camera and begin because I was getting a bunch of channeled messages and it was kind of coming through like a wave. So a lot of you, there's about to be a huge influx that you are in alignment with, and this is following up from the shoe cover reading that we did in regards to you being in alignment with a very unexpected blessing where it's going to appear like the Red Sea literally parts for you and a new I'm hearing like passage is going to be revealed. Okay, I'm seeing like get ready to walk into a new life. I'm literally seeing like a stargate. But the message
and to me that's death. To me
was that if the shoe fits and the shoe fits, and I'm hearing your
I'd rather go. This is not for me. I'm leaving and I'm celebrating because I don't want to be around people.
Deeply, I'm hearing in alignment it is with you. Okay, it's almost like you're walking into a life that was literally made for you. Okay,
and that is to me. I just see a bunch of white. It's just a white, bright white light that has like yeah, I'm just seeing a bright light right now, but it's blinding.
Right? And it's basically about us living in a fractal universe, alright? This energetic projection, and everything has
but I'm also getting like lungs, like a
from chaos, and there's a cosmos within
something around like my neck. I don't know.
When it comes to the disorder in your life, and also
I haven't experienced that yet, but it kind of feels like you got the wind knocked out of you, kind of, and you're taking your first breath a little bit.
You not being able to outrun the blessings that are coming away, right? Because that's what's fated for you due to the course that you've been putting in. That it's now having an effect externally.
I don't know.
As well as other people.
But I'm waiting to die. Like I just don't want to live anymore. It's just I can't deal with people of God and Jesus making money off the human sex trafficking and the kids.
Which is about a Cleldon, and a Cleldon basically talks about a kind of divination based on.
Now she has an accent, meaning that she's probably not from the United States.
Other, like, messages in a bottle. So it's a message in a bottle.
But how many people are like this in the United States that are doing the same shit, making money off of the children and just ignoring them?
To basically hear some type of blessing that's coming towards you during this time.
So I know I'll do better when I'm dead. I'll do a lot more. Like I could do a lot more things. Because here I can't be heard. Oh my gosh, this is so disgusting. No, thank you.
The other message that was coming through right now was,
and I hope my grandkids will see this and go, yeah, my grandmother was right. I don't need to work to be a slave and get treated like this.
And you guys literally entering into an elevator that was taking you right to the top.
Yeah,
where you having to embrace this wave,
because
right?
my ancestors already did that, and my kids don't need to do that.
And a man is
they need to heal. They still need to heal. My kids need to heal from the abuse that the school district have done to them for these other fucking adults, and what my in-laws had to do, what their dad's family did to them.
Journey on your life, and it's about grandeur possibilities that lie ahead and you reaching a new level. Okay, there's a wave of momentum that you're gonna have to be
I do believe all tarot readers and psychic readers on YouTube making money off of this. They're no different than the family court making money off of the children. Shame on you. Shame. You will be dealt with, I promise you, and I guarantee.
Alright, next, somebody's asking why did Biden and Kamala rush flashback to D.C. Why did Biden and Kamala
It's
rush
all
back
acting.
to D.C.? What's going on? Government in the world that's being held to. Now, there is that one Dr. Greer that was over there and meeting. He has met with Biden, etc.
Oh, aliens.
And he's saying figure out what they need to do.
So instead of taking responsibility for the kids that are being sexually attracted, human sex trafficked, they're gonna say about aliens instead of helping the kids.
Getting as much information, juggling this.
They have all the information they need.
Things that they're trying to do, and then again, how he's going to take action.
He's not.
What action that he needs to take, because this is an abuse. Okay. He's got information on these nefarious dealings as to what they have been doing for this long term. Okay.
People go to these tarot readers and the psychic boys, they go to these people and they pay them like money. And then a lot of them claim that they don't do witchcraft or spell work, but they do. They do. All of them do. If you go to tarot, if these tarot readers are saying that they don't do witchcraft or they don't do spell work, how do you think they got you? It's stupid.
Again, ones with the wealth and the power,
don't go to them.
They got the information about this and how they have manipulated all this stuff. Okay. So now,
read books, go outside,
what are they going
understand
to
your
do?
emotions.
What's going to be the fight? They've got the truth of it now. The truth is there about, again, the ones of wealth and power.
The truth's always been there.
Is really a painful
it's just the
thing
people that
to see, to know.
I don't know. Narcissists.
And it affects families. It affects everybody. And the
United States have karma coming back to them because they went to war, killing thousands, millions of people in Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran.
What do we do with this situation? Okay, what do we do with this situation?
Which is disgusting because then you have people coming over here from Iraq, Iran, and Pakistan, and then they're joining the military here, or they're joining the law enforcement here, and they're getting murdered or picked on
for a long time.
because it's all set up.
Like Biden,
it's all set up. It's a huge setup.
Again, this is not information that is being put out to everybody at once, but it looks like it could
so Freemasons have this city thing, cookie cutter, in cities, and from what I'm getting from my dad, and that's why I go to different cities to see what stars lines up or where it lines up to other things, because Orange County is just like a fucking
on the alien things as well, that it's about at a breaking point with these things. And they are going to be looking at this.
And the drones, a lot of the police departments have drones, so I'm wondering
a crisis point, and they are
how many police departments are involved with the drones, or how many fire departments are in the drones.
It's about to hit the fan. Okay, it's about to hit the fan.
They have
and I
cameras.
think it also could have something to do again with the Hopi prophecies as well. That division taking place.
Low light.
You know, these ones that are technologically advanced, they've
been something on them.
And trying to rule with monetary and the things that they're doing, this nefarious
I would be concerned if these drones would be spraying shit, put pesticides, like stuff like that.
Of again,
that's chemical warfare. That's
let's just put it that way. Okay.
There's a word for it, for the technology.
So keep your eyes and ears open. Don't get into panic mode again. You know.
Yeah, there's no reason to get in panic mode. It's all planned out.
Stage. This is not just in America. This is happening all over the world.
I'm not paranoid. Even when I do take anything, I'm not paranoid. Like, there's no reason to be paranoid. To be like, oh my god. No, just be like, all right.
Hey, want to pilot an Airbus around the world?
Bonjour.
Manage your own football club? We got you.
It just sucks. I miss you boys. Don't be scared of death. Welcome it. Enjoy it. Live life. If you do face death or if someone's threatening you, then come at me. Come at me. Let me see. And if they do succeed in murdering you, you have all that right to seek revenge however you want. Because you weren't supposed to go. It wasn't your time, but that fucker wanted to fuck around and he's gonna find out. And just like the United States is they fucked around and they're finding out right now that they killed so many people overseas, all for what? Take responsibility, own up. I love you boys, and I'll see you soon.